As a firm believer in God, I understand that prayer is talking to God about just daily life and daily struggles that I have and daily goals and plans that I have. And I understand that I said in the first video, all good things come from God. And in order to accomplish great things, I want Him to be at the center of everything. Hello, stylish leaders. Matthew SImmons here. I'm so excited. I'm so glad that you're back. We're going to wrap up our series on faith with this topic video. We're going to call this Taking a Leap of Faith. Okay, but before we take the leap into that topic, let's check out our sponsors for this video. We are so excited that it's ExpressVPN again. If you're not familiar with ExpressVPN, just want to give you a quick tidbit on who they are as a company. They protect your internet activity and protection to keep anyone with prying eyes away from your personal information. It's on a variety of devices, and it even comes with a money-back guarantee. Go check out ExpressVPN. Go to this link, studio454a.com/VPN, to go find out everything you need to know about our sponsor today. So now let's dive in to this video. Let's take the leap of faith. What is leap of faith? It's risk, taking risk. No one wants to do it. I don't want to do it. Is it necessary to be a leader? Is it necessary to be a stylish leader who's intentional in everything that they do? Absolutely. So, a stylish leader takes calculated risk over foolish risk. So, one of my favorite leaders and icons in leadership is John Maxwell. And John Maxwell says there's two kinds of risk. There's calculated and there's foolish. Everybody knows what foolish risk is. That's when you take an uneducated, blind leap. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know where you're going. You don't know how you're going to do it. You have no resource. You have no plan. You have nothing. But yet you go out and you expect to succeed. You're going to fail 100% of the time. That's just like beating your head against a brick wall. It's painless. It's painful. It's useless. And it sets you up for failure and guaranteed failure. But yet that's what everybody feels risk is. And that's not necessarily what risk is. In this video, I promise you, you're going to leave with 4 points on how to take a leap of faith, and it's not going to be as hard as it sounds. Even I'm doing it, and I'm like the scaredy cat of taking risk. I'm very not into it at all. But I found a way to do it, and you will too. And that is by doing calculated risk. So there are 4 things that are going to allow you to take a calculated risk. The first point here, the first thing you need to know is you need to have knowledge that's applicable. What does that mean? You need to know what you're doing, you need to know how you're doing it, and then you need to know who to do it with and where to do it. So that sounds like a lot, but really you need to know what you're doing. That, depending on what you want to do in life, it's going to require different levels of education, research, or whatever. Maybe you need a degree. Maybe you need to study a certain field. Maybe you need whatever it is you need to do. Count the cost, weigh your options, and understand, is the risk greater than the reward, or is the reward greater than the risk? If the reward is greater than the risk, your return on investment is going to be much better, and you're going to have a calculated plan of action to understand, hey, I'm going to go out of my comfort zone. It's not going to feel good right away, but I know while I'm out there, I'm going to succeed. John Maxwell also said that the fruit of the tree is on the limb. So you got to go out there, you got to take a shot, you got to take a chance. Nothing's guaranteed in life except death, taxes, and if you're in the United States, jury duty. But if you go in with the knowledge and are prepared, the Bible says, study to show yourself approved. What that means is this: I've studied, I've put forth the work, I know what to do when I'm in the game, and when the pressure's on, I have the steps in my mind of what to do and when to do it. So that's the first one. Know what you're doing. Number 2, and this is my favorite part because you have to have this, you have to have a team of people in place. If you don't have a team of people in place, you're going to fail because you can't take risk solo, okay? You can't take risk solo. So you have to say, I know what I want to do, but now I have to find who I want to do it with. So if you, again, put a team of people in place, you utilize your strengths, more on that later, but if you put yourself in a position, I built a team of people around me, we're going to do X, Y, or Z, or whatever it is. Let's go and take the jump, and let's go ahead and go for it. I love the idea of taking the jump. Steve Harvey said that best. He said, you cannot soar if you don't take the jump. And so that's a paraphrase of what he said, but it's so perfect. It's a perfect analogy. You want to go out there on your own and do something on your own, or you want to go out there and do it with a team of people. Because I look at it like this. A team of people is your parachute. When you go out there and you're about to jump out of an airplane or off a cliff, and because you're an adrenaline junkie, and you don't have a parachute, you're guaranteeing yourself to die. I mean, you have to have a parachute to keep you from that. But if you go out there in the risk arena and you jump by yourself, you're going to fall flat on your face and you're going to fail. Now, is failure your greatest educator and teacher? Absolutely. But it doesn't have to be as painful as we make it out to be in the leadership, entrepreneurial, hustler, CEO realm, business, corporate realm. I just go out there and just take a risk and just jump. True, but you have to have a parachute with you to do that, because if you jump off of a cliff or out of an airplane and you want to live, you have to have a parachute, right? Well, the same goes for when you're taking a risk in the risk arena. You have to have a parachute. Your parachute is a team. If you go into the risk arena with a team of people saying, this group is utilizing their strengths here, this group is utilizing their strengths there, I'm utilizing my strength here, you're going to succeed. Third point, after the coffee break, all right? So if you love coffee and you need it to function in the morning, or you're just like a good cup of coffee grounds, you're going to love what my friends at KuVida Coffee are doing. Their website is KuVidaCoffee.com. I don't want to spoil everything they're doing for you, but let me tell you something. They are transforming the nation and culture of Panama, one cup of coffee at a time. Whenever you buy their coffee, they're pouring into the education and the missions field in Panama to make sure that that community, that country, that government, everybody there is succeeding and thriving with better standard of living, better education, all the above. So that's just to whet your appetite of what they're doing. If you want to find out more what they're doing, I encourage you again, KuVidaCoffee.com. Buy their coffee grounds, support a great cause, have a cup of leadership with KuVida Coffee. All right, so now that we're back from the coffee break, we're going to do the next 2 points. And I love these two because this is really going to wrap up everything that we've done in the first two. And I like to say, there's a saying, saving the best for last. That's why I'm doing these. Number 3, take a risk, take a leap of faith with your strengths as your strong point, okay? Utilize your strengths to your advantage. My strengths are team building and public speaking and being relational and creating an environment. Ultimately, it's all about creating an environment that cultivates leadership. That's a strength of mine. I love to just connect people to find what their strength is and then allow them to do that. That's all I do. I find people, see what their strength is, identify it, help them use their strength, help them accomplish their goal and dream by getting them in an environment, just creating an environment. I just invite and I just put them in there. And then the leaders in that environment that I've created will take over with their strengths. Some are administrative, some are good with filming, some are good with, making phone calls, some are good with marketing, some are good with. I let them use their strength while I use my strength, and I say, hey, do this for me, and I'll do this for you, and we'll thrive here together, and we'll promote each other, and we'll build each other up as we're climbing together. Let's do it arm in arm. So that way, when we come up with a project or an idea or a goal that we want to accomplish, we say, let's come together, let's function as a team. Let's not one of these try and be a lone ranger or a self-employed minded person where it's just me 100% of the time. Let's use our strengths. We've identified them. We know what we want to do. Let's go have a course of action and thrive in it. Whenever you watch a sports team, Super Bowl, Olympics, World Series, NBA, NHL, any team sport you can think of, when they're going into the championship game, they have a team game plan, and they have position players who are in this assignment, in this assignment, in this assignment, and they all have roles, they all have functions, they all have abilities. And if each of those players is performing their role and ability, and they're performing the play and executing the play as it's called, and they're functioning in their strength, then the team can operate as a cohesive unit on all sides of the ball or whatever, and they can win the championship game. They can win the game because they're using each other's skill set to offset the other person's weakness. That's the beauty of a team and utilizing strengths. So the third point of taking a leap of faith is use your strengths. Don't try to do something that you know you're not good at when you know that the person next to you is an expert at it. Okay? So just use your strengths. And fourth, and I save this the best for last because you will never succeed without bathing things that you do in prayer. As a firm believer in God, I understand that prayer is talking to God about just daily life and daily struggles that I have and daily goals and plans that I have. And I understand that I said in the first video, all good things come from God. And in order to accomplish great things, I want Him to be at the center of everything. So a stylish leader is intentional in faith because they understand that a faith in God or a higher power, you have an ability to say, I have an anchor, I have something that I can lean, almost like hook into to keep you from just being swayed to the right or to the left. I mean, it's an anchor. It keeps you solid. And that is, in a tumultuous world that we live in today, it's scary enough without taking a risk in this world today. But if you do take a risk, a leap of faith, it's scary. It's scary no matter how calculated it is. That's why you have to have something that's grounding you. And that personal faith is going to do that. Also, what prayer does is it also signals that this is something that's bigger than myself. This is something that I know that this is something that people will be transformed by. So you're doing something that's bigger than yourself when you're praying over it, because when you pray over what you're doing as you take the leap of faith, it's going to transform that project or that goal from a personal one to a higher one. And it's going to be bigger than yourself, and you're going to feel a spiritual and a deeper connection to it, which will allow you to be even more passionate about it. But all good things do come from God. And I'm adamant about that because I've witnessed it in my life. And that's the fourth and the most crucial one. If you don't bathe it in prayer, there's no such thing as a self-made man or woman. It always takes God-given talent and a team of people around you to succeed. So go take the leap of faith. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's supposed to be. But you're only going to soar when you take that jump, and the fruit is on the limb of the tree. So thank you for watching. This series, this first part of Stylish Leadership, is only laying the framework here. We're going to immediately go into another series, which you're not going to want to miss. But again, remember, ExpressVPN and KuVida Coffee are our sponsors. If you want your stylish hat, as you've seen in my previous videos, go to SimmonsEssentials.com. That's where we sell those hats for you. So again, own your own style, my friends. You're fearfully, wonderfully made. Go take a leap of faith for your community, because there's people who are counting on your gifts and talents to change their life. Go do it today.